The thing is that for you and I now, because we're not allowed the live proceedings, I wasn't in court all throughout the trial. So I came in, I wasn't in the country, so I was able to attend the one of the judgment. So
yes, you all, it's Peace TV on today's episode, and practically we're talking about a recent statement made by Aisha Yesuf connecting to the tribunal judgment that was passed recently, connecting to the court case issue between PDP, APC, and Labour Party. Now, she said that the judges who ruled the case on that day, on the judgment day, ruled in the favor of APC. Practically, they were one-sided, and they were not neutral on how they were supposed to be. But all the same, that practically on that day that she was not around, she was not in the country. And she made a lot of statements. She said a lot of things connecting to show the proof that Labour Party won the 25th February 2023 election. But all the same, I'd like you to watch the video and hear what she has to say. Hear her out on her statements. And please don't forget to like our videos. Don't forget to share, comment. Thanks for watching. It's Peace TV.
the thing is that for you and I now, because we're not allowed the live proceedings, I wasn't in court all throughout the trial. So I came in, I wasn't in the country, so I was able to attend the one of the judgment. So first of all, that's why they say when you're talking about justice, it must not only be done, but it must also be seen to be done. And one of the things that all of this conversation would have cleared would have been when citizens were making demands that there should be live transmission from the courts during the tribunal sittings. If that had been out, every one of us would have been able to see this watery evidence that were put in, or watery case, or whatever the name that it's called, that was put forth. But first of all, that wasn't allowed to happen. And then it is a judgment where it is justices now saying this is what they have arrived at that was allowed to happen. Apart from that is also the fact that there is where they said the way and manner in which INEC had been served in terms of getting the evidence, the materials they were supposed, the counsels to the petitioners were supposed to have access to, that they didn't get it. One of the things that we also have to look at is that the court gives instruction, the court gives its orders to INEC, and then INEC doesn't fulfill it. And at the end of the day, we've seen the court just not doing anything about it and just moving on. And this is not something that is just peculiar to the issue of whether it's INEC being asked to allow petitioners' counsels to have access to certain materials. And I could say we're also where amongst the justices, when they were reading out that judgment, where they said that, I think it was Justice Haruna Samani who had read out on the fact that any credible candidate should not rely on INEC for their results and things like that. We've seen time again and again where courts in Nigeria will give order. Either the executive or institutions will not obey these orders, and it's almost as if it's business as usual, and they just continue what they're doing without really looking at it at the fact that this is an affront on them. It's one thing for us to talk about technicalities and all of that. But it's another thing for us to say there were people, the people who were on the petitioners' council, there were a lot of sons there. There are people who had, this is not their first time of doing a trial, election petition. And for say that all of them, every one of them, that they didn't file these things the way they're supposed to be filed. I'm not a lawyer. Probably the lawyers will be the ones to answer that. But what was most instructive was the fact that the whole justice seems to be on the side of the respondents more than they were just being neutral. And for me, just being, even in the court, the body language, the words, it's almost as if they came alive whenever it was issue of the petitioners that were being discussed. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And I think it was Lord Denning that said that the law is supposed to be there to protect the weak and not to protect the strong. And we must begin to, and for me, that's why over the years, and this is not my first time, time. And it's not because of the result of what has happened. But the fact is that we need to begin to look at the independence of the judiciary and let us know, do we have, the way we have state capture, do we have also a judicial capture? Do we have, the things that from all of this that we all need to be asking ourselves is that, how do judges get into office? What is the process that bring them in? Is it a transparent process? Is it a process where it's plagued with nepotism and all of that? And at the end of the day, how does it constantly affect the judgment that come out of the courts over time? And we've seen a situation in Nigeria whereby people go on judicial rulings shopping. So somebody will leave Imo State and go to Jigawa State because they want to be able to have judgment in a certain way. Someone will leave Kano State and go to Edo State because they want it in a certain way. What are the things that are leading to all of this? You find a court of appeal in one state, on the same matter we give a ruling. Another court of appeal in another place, on the same matter we give a ruling. And so that confidence that Nigerians have in the judiciary, even before the presidential election tribunal started, a lot of people were not interested. A lot of people say, oh, there's nothing that is going to come out of it. We know how this thing. And I remember constantly saying that, look, it's not our business to trust the judiciary. Our business is to overwhelm the judiciary with evidence. And so these are issues that we must ensure that as a nation, justice must be seen. And even in the case of INEC, it's about the processes, it's about the procedure, it's about the things that need to be done. And if these things are not done, we will continue to have a country where people will not have confidence in the government.